Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to hear me today, not just with your ears, but with your spirit, because what I'm about to share is not just about gardens, it's about life. It's about transformation. It's about the power to take what is small, what is overlooked, what is considered insignificant, and turn it into something breathtaking, something impactful, something divine. You see, we live in a world that often tells us bigger is better. It tells us that if we don't have vast resources, endless land, and unlimited options, we cannot create beauty. But I came to challenge that mindset today, because the truth is, some of the most magnificent things in life are not found in abundance, they are found in wisdom. They are founded in the ability to maximize what you have been given. Yes, what in life and maximization is a principle that governs all of creation. Everything that exists was designed with the capacity to be more than what it appears to be. A seed is not just a seed, it carries within it the potential of an entire forest. A single drop of water may seem insignificant, but when it joins others, it becomes an ocean. The problem is never the size of what we have. The problem is our understanding of what it can become. Many people look at their limitations and make excuses. They say, I don't have enough space, I don't have enough resources, I don't have enough time. But the truth is, you don't need more, you need to maximize what you already have. There is a divine principle that says, if you are faithful with little, you will be entrusted with more. But faithfulness is not about maintaining, it is about multiplying. It is about taking what is in your hands and unlocking its full potential. It is about seeing what others overlook and transforming what others ignore. The greatest innovators in history were not those who had unlimited resources, but those who had the ability to see beyond limitations. The next exercise requires a little nightmares and a stretch of imagination. They took the little they had and stretched it until it became more than enough. In the art of Tsubo Niwa, the Japanese understood this principle deeply. They knew that a small space was not a disadvantage, but an opportunity. They understood that within the confines of a courtyard, they could create a world. They did not complain about the size, they focused on the essence. They did not waste energy wishing for more land, they poured wisdom into what was already in their hands. And as a result, they designed spaces that radiate peace, harmony, and beauty. A Tsubo Niwa does not seek to compete with vast gardens. It embraces its limitations and turns them into strengths. It does not try to be what it is not. It maximizes what it is. Look around your life. How often have you looked at your circumstances and said, if only I had more, I could do something great? How often have you allowed limitation to become an excuse for inaction? The key to transformation is never in waiting for abundance. It is in mastering what is already within your reach. Every great success story begins with a decision to maximize. It is not the size of the gift that determines its impact. It is the stewardship of it. The difference between an empty lot and a beautiful garden is not space, it is intention. Two people can be given the same resources. One will create a masterpiece, and the other will let it waste away. It is never about what is given, it is about how it is used. The same applies to every area of life. Two individuals can have the same 24 hours, the same opportunities, the same skills, but only the one who maximizes will produce greatness. Nature itself teaches us that nothing should be wasted. Every element in a well-designed garden has purpose. The placement of a single rock is intentional. The flow of water is strategic. The position of a tree is carefully considered. Nothing is random. Nothing is without thought. This is the secret to mastery, understanding that what you have is enough if you apply wisdom to it. This is why pouring it all out into one plate, driving any luck down the main drain, is a bad idea. The small garden spaces in our lives represent the areas we often overlook. They are the opportunities we dismiss, the moments we take for granted, the resources we think are too little to make a difference. But when you change your mindset, you change your outcome. When you see limitation as an invitation to create rather than a reason to quit, you unlock the power of maximization. The Japanese did not need acres of land to create beauty. They only needed understanding. They did not need to expand outward. They knew how to expand inward. The same principle applies to personal growth. It is not about how much you start with. It is about how deeply you develop what you have. A small tree with deep roots is stronger than a large tree with shallow ones. A single, well-placed stone can shift the entire atmosphere of a space. The essence of Tsubo Niwa is not excess but excellence. It is not quantity but quality. When you embrace this mindset, everything changes. You stop wishing for more and start working with what is already in your hands. You stop complaining about lack and start cultivating potential. The world is filled with people who have been given much but produce little, and yet there are those who have been given little but produce much. The difference is never in what is given, it is in how it is managed. A person who knows how to maximize does not despise small beginnings. They do not underestimate what appears insignificant. They understand that within every seed, there is a harvest. Within every small space, there is a paradise waiting to be revealed. What makes something extraordinary is not its size, but its substance. When you commit to mastery, when you commit to fully utilizing what you have, you unlock possibilities that others cannot see. End quote. A small garden space, when maximized, becomes a sanctuary. It becomes a place of rest, of inspiration, of transformation. But the same space, when neglected, becomes nothing more than wasted potential. The difference is not in the environment itself, but in how it is cultivated. There are people who look at a narrow alleyway and see nothing, and there are those who look at the same space and envision a masterpiece. This is the power of perspective. This is the power of vision. The ability to maximize is what separates mediocrity from greatness. It is what turns limitation into creativity. It is what transforms what is ordinary into something sacred. And the truth is, every person has the ability to maximize, if they choose to. Limitations are not barriers, they are the architects of creativity. When you understand this principle, you stop seeing restrictions as obstacles and start seeing them as the framework for something greater. Everything in life operates within boundaries. A river flows powerfully because of its banks. A symphony is breathtaking not because of endless noise, but because of structured notes. Even the most magnificent trees are bound by the soil they are rooted in, yet they thrive. The secret to true beauty, true peace, and true mastery is not in removing limitations, but in learning how to harmonize within them. The Japanese understood this deeply when they developed the concept of Tsubo Niwa, the courtyard garden. They did not look at small spaces with frustration, they looked at them with purpose. They understood that a courtyard, though enclosed, was not a prison. It was a canvas. They did not try to force expansion, they focused on refinement. They did not see limitation as a reason to do less, they saw it as a reason to be more intentional. Every stone, every plant, every pathway in a Tsubo Niwa is positioned with thought. Nothing is wasted, nothing is excessive, everything has meaning. Life itself follows this same principle. The most impactful people in history were not those with unlimited resources, but those who understood how to work within constraints. Great artists did not wait for endless supplies, they created masterpieces with what they had. Great leaders did not complain about what was missing, they built nations with what was present. The greatest innovations of our time did not come from people who had everything. They came from those who looked at what they had and found ways to make it extraordinary. A small garden space mirrors the reality of life. You may not have acres of land, but you have something, and what you have is enough if you learn to use it wisely. Harmony is not found in excess, it is found in balance. It is found in knowing that every element has a place and a purpose. When you step into a well-planned Japanese courtyard, you don't feel confined, you feel free. The space is small, but the experience is vast. It is not about how much you have, it is about how deeply you engage with it. This is a principle that applies to every aspect of life. Time is limited, yet those who master it achieve greatness. Resources are limited, yet those who maximize them create wealth. Energy is limited, yet those who focus it accomplish more than those who waste it. The secret is never in getting more. It is in learning how to arrange what you have in a way that produces harmony. A Japanese courtyard does not try to be a sprawling landscape. It embraces its limits and turns them into its greatest asset. Look at the world around you. The most peaceful places are not necessarily the largest. The most profound moments are not always the loudest. The most impactful words are often the simplest. Harmony comes when you stop trying to force what does not belong and start aligning with what already exists. When designing a small garden, every detail matters. The placement of a single stone can change the entire atmosphere. The flow of water can dictate the energy of the space. The positioning of a tree can create depth where none seem to exist. It is the careful balance of elements that creates beauty. This same principle applies to relationships. The best relationships are not those with unlimited time together, but those where every moment is meaningful. The most successful businesses are not those with infinite resources, but those that know how to allocate them with precision. The happiest people are not those who have everything, but those who have learned how to make the most of what they have. There is power in limitation, but only for those who know how to use it. Nature itself is a master of this principle. The bamboo plant grows tall not because it has unlimited space, but because it knows how to stretch within its environment. The koi fish thrives not because it has the entire ocean, but because it harmonizes with the pond it inhabits. The most breathtaking mountains are not scattered randomly. They are shaped by time, wind, and pressure, each element working within its own constraints to create something magnificent. When you resist limitations, you create frustration. When you embrace them, you create purpose. A small garden does not fight against its size, it works with it. It does not try to be something it is not. It leans into what it is. And because of this, it becomes a place of peace, a place of reflection, a place of inspiration. The same applies to life. Those who are always chasing more, always comparing, always wishing for something different, never find peace. But those who recognize the beauty in what they have and arrange it with wisdom, experience fulfillment. When you walk into a Tsubo Niwa, you are not overwhelmed by distractions. There is no excess, no unnecessary additions, only what is needed to create harmony. The rocks, the plants, the pathways, the water, all exist in a perfect relationship with each other. Nothing is wasted. This is how life should be lived. When you stop focusing on what is missing and start working with what is present, you move from frustration to clarity. You stop fighting against the limits and start finding power within them. The greatest musicians understand that music is not just about sound, it is also about silence. The greatest architects know that a building is not just about the structure, it is also about the space within it. The greatest designers recognize that beauty is not in adding more, it is in refining what is already there. This is the essence of harmony within limitations. When you embrace this principle, you stop seeing small spaces as obstacles and start seeing them as opportunities. You stop trying to escape the boundaries and start learning how to create within them. You begin to understand that true peace, true success, and true fulfillment are not found in having everything, but in knowing how to use what you already have to its fullest potential.